my life has changed so much because of RuPaul's Drag Race. I said it on the show and I'll say it again. I got to be on my favorite TV show. I got to win my favorite TV show. I got to see how the sausage is made, and I came out and I still ate sausage.
HIGHKEY. Oh my God, Yvie, guess who doesn't have any more anxiety about having birthday things anymore?
Is it you because your birthday's no longer over?
Fuck yes.
Okay, it's funny because when you were like, guess who no longer has any anxiety? I was like, this bitch is lying to herself.
No, I swear, like, as soon as it, like, even the day of, so my birthday was July 29th, but I ended up having my birthday party, a little pool party on the 27th, that Sunday, and I was so stressed out about it. I was literally going to cancel it the day before, like, no lie. I was going to send a little party invite and be like, ho, stay home. But instead, it was really, really great. I had all the food. I had my really good Judy, like, Traitors, shout out to them, really helped out with like getting all drinks and all the things. And
oh wait, so you did diva out a little bit? You were able to finally be like, no, it's my birthday. I deserve somebody else to do things for me.
I didn't even really like low-key diva out because I don't even know. I feel like at some point in life, I will be able to like experience that full on. But I was just kind of like, just get what you want to get. And they were like, no, bitch, tell me what you want and I will get it. And so I did that. And of course, niggas show up an hour later, which I thought they would.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wanted them to, because anyone who shows up to a party on time...
You're a fucking psychopath, okay? You're uninvited from every future party, like, immediately.
Never. Like, why would you show up right on the dot? Like, that's kind of crazy to me. However, no one did that. It was really, really great. Good vibes. Except for there were children hanging out, because I live in my apartment complex with families there. And, like, all of my friends are, like, low-key hoes, and the bathing suits showed that, and we couldn't even get naked like we wanted to because there were babies at the pool.
About? No,
there were babies at the pool.
All you had to do was get naked, girl. I went to one of my besties' pool parties last weekend, and it was just all a bunch of menaces to society, just like a bunch of tatted faggots with our dicks and balls of every gender just like hanging out of the sides. And the second we walked up to the pool, the kids were already playing this game of like, if you get pushed in the water, you're gay. We overheard that bitch. The way I took off all of my overgarments was in a little string bikini and did my most graceful little like back bend flip into the pool. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gay now.
Oh my God. No.
Y'all should have scared those children.
It's Leo season. You have a birthday shindig coming up, right? Like a yard sale birthday celebration?
Yeah. It's going to be like a yard sale because I have a bunch of shit I want to get rid of. And it's also my way of defeating my own anxiety about my birthday. Because like birthdays are never fun for me. It's stressful. Everyone's there. And like, clearly at least pretending it's about you. Like, girl, I don't want all that attention and like one-on-one interactions off of stage. Like, it's great on stage when you can be like, yes, here's my audience performing. When it's like your grandmother, that guy you fucked, like a friend from high school, your father, just a rando off the street who is coming with somebody, and they're all like, so how are you? Like, how have you?
Yeah, that is so real. Honestly, it's the small talk. It's so uncomfortable. But really, though, for real, we have to bring in our guests for today's episode so they can jump in with us. Now, you know them as the winner of Season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race and the co-host of the podcast Sibling Rivalry. Also, he was a fan favorite on Season 2 of The Traitors, and he just released a new novel, Harriet Tubman, live in concerts. Welcome to the show, Bob the Drag Queen!
How are we all?
Lovely. Welcome to the party, bitch. What'd you bring?
I've been listening outside with a cup pressed to the door, and I heard everything you said.
Please! Not you were like waiting to see if we were going to talk shit about you.
One of those moves.
With my loud ass laugh, like I already know you heard everything that was going on anyways. You were standing outside like, should I even be walking into this bitch?
I love that Yvie is having like this big celebration of it all, because also she's like low-key, celebrating that you quit drag or some shit? Like, what's going on with that?
No.
Yeah, how do you low-key quit drag?
Like, right?
Girl, you've already done it, whatever. All you have to do is come out as non-binary, and that way you have an excuse to wear any amount of makeup or sparkly clothing you want. You're like, no, don't judge my gender, okay? This is my representation. This is my expression. And they're like, bitch, this is a nightclub.
I've been unbiting it this whole time, but I think that I always say you don't quit drag. No one really quits drag.
Right.
No one
right.
quits
So
drag.
what's the transition from doing drag all the time to like not really doing drag all the time?
Well,
but like
for some reason, people think that because I show my face out of drag that I don't do drag. They're like, "Whoa, is Bob ever in drag?" I'm like, "I'm always in drag. I do drag all the time. I did an entire tour in drag. I do tons of stuff in drag. But because I don't go because I'm not Lady Bunnying it or doing every single public appearance of my life in drag, people are under the assumption I am somehow stepping away from the cloth. Yeah,
That's the thing is they look at us doing less drag in less traditional senses, and they're like, "Oh, that bitch is falling off. Oh, that bitch is quitting drag. Oh, that bitch is developing a meth habit." Or whatever they say about us.
That's literally what the Drag Race Reddits were actually saying. I felt like
Yvie
people
developed a meth habit?
Well, not that the meth habit of it all, but I think they were worried. They were like, well, what's going on? She's quitting drag, all these things. Like, were you at least like happy that people cared that you were like, that idea was out in the world? Like, oh no, don't quit drag. That's actually nice, huh?
Hell no. I don't care. I don't like that's very sweet. I'm very thankful that there's some people who would be like, "Oh no, if you quit drag." But I've been thinking about this a lot. It's like if you die, everybody for the most part is going to be like, "Oh my god, this is so sad. We lost her. I wish I could have seen her one more time. I wish I could." And I'm like, "No, bitch, give artists the praise that you would when they're dead while they're still here kicking." Like I was literally in an interview once with all the All-Star girlies, and it was an either or like bullshit BuzzFeed sort of thing. And they made us choose between Chi-Chi's paper outfit and Naomi's paper outfit. And like the way all these girls went so quick to like kiss ass for Chi-Chi because she was dead. They were like, "Yeah, and it's so immaculate how her makeup's like almost really good here, almost." And Naomi's outfit was literally what RuPaul wore for the promo the next season. The way I got into a fight with all of those bitches being like, "No, you better not treat me like this when I'm dead."
In their defense, Chi-Chi's outfit was good. I mean,
it was good.
It was between Chi-Chi and Naomi for sure at that point. And I do think there's a reverence that we give to people when they've passed that we don't give to them when they're here. And I think it's because you can't atone. Because if you do something bad while someone's here, you can atone. Once someone's dead, you can no longer atone with them. What's been said has been said. What's been done has been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe there's some of that in there. But I mean, I understand the notion. Like if a friend dies and you just read their text, you read the last text that you had exchange that you had with them. If someone in your life passes away, a lot of people just go. The first thing they do is they see what was their last text message interaction. And I had a moment where Jacqueline, who was a producer on RuPaul's Drag Race, had passed away. And I checked our last text together and I hadn't responded, which I don't respond to texts ever. I never respond to any more text.
I'm most definitely a part of that committee of not responding.
And I remember thinking to myself, well, I wish I had responded to this text. But I never respond to people's texts. That's the truth. I never, but I do wish that I had gotten one more opportunity to respond back and forth. Obviously, I had no clue she was passing away. So I didn't have that opportunity to respond.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been so interesting to see how many eyeballs, especially you having to do like that EW interview with the king of all like Drag Race twinks, Joey Nofi. I'm like, was it really that serious to have to do an EW interview about it?
I don't mind Joey Nofi. He just seems like a gay guy who loves Drag Race and talks about it a lot. But Joey Nofi's kind of been given the like he's the new Jake Yonsei, and he's really not.
No, it's just I really like to use his name when I'm talking shit about reporters because he's the only one whose name I like ever remember off the top of my head.
I've seen that video before. That video has crawled across my feed for sure.
HIGHKEY. All right, so we're back, of course, with Bob the Drag Queen. And it's so interesting. We were talking about Yvie low-key quitting drag. And Monet did a really great job at teasing the fact that you almost quit Sibling Rivalry. And so is that going to happen? I
don't plan on quitting Sibling Rivalry. This was just a couple years ago when I was really irritated with Monet and the fandom in a way that didn't feel like it just didn't feel fun or cute anymore. But But this was years ago, and I just randomly told Monet recently. Well, she kind of asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I thought about not doing the pod." Me and Jacob, my partner, had a conversation about whether or not I wanted to quit the podcast.
Whoa.
No, not quitting drag.
Bob is quitting drag. You heard it here first, bitches.
Whether or not I wanted to quit the podcast, and I chose not to. But it was like just so fucking irritating. I was like,
I feel like I could tell. I've been a long time subscriber of Sibling Rivalry. And I feel like there was a moment where I could tell, like, where it just sometimes y'all's arguments, even though it's like the whole podcast is about sibling like arguments, they be feeling so intense. Sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, let me pause. Cause y'all.
When me and Monet argue all the time, like we don't put on for the camera. We're like, this is how we talk in everyday life. We're like always arguing. But then there kind of came this. It's really interesting. I was like last night at Monet's house playing this game called Secret Hitler. Do you know Secret Hitler?
Kind of, not really.
It's kind of like Traitors. Kind of. Everyone gets a card. You're either a fascist or you're a liberal. So I was playing with it was me, Jacob, my partner's partner, Mikey, and then Monet and her partner, and then Raven Simone and her wife. And so Monet's really charming, right? So Monet was using her charm to convince people that I was bad in the game. But I kept telling, I was like, you can trust me. I'm not bad. You can trust me. I'm actually really good. You can always trust me. But because Monet is charming, and I don't really care to be charming, like being charming isn't part of what I particularly care for. I'm more like, let's just get to the nitty gritty. But anyway, long story short, every single time Monet was a fascist and she was lying. And I kept telling the ladies, no, you can trust me. I'm not lying to you. You can trust me. But she was like, no, but Monet's saying you're bad. And then the game ended, and then it was true that Monet was bad and Monet was lying to them. And then she was like, oh God, I don't know why I trusted Monet. And then I was like, next round, just know you can trust me. And then the same thing
over again.
It happened 3 times in a row. And she kept being like, I don't know why I keep trusting Monet, but Monet's like playing to the niceness. But I never play to niceness, because like if people don't think I'm nice, I don't really care that much. It doesn't really bother me if you don't think I'm nice. Until it gets to the point where Monet was weaponizing her charm in this game. Obviously,
which feels like that's a great strategy if you really think about it.
It really
Monet
is.
was weaponizing her charm and being like, see, Bob's bad. But then at the end, she was like, wow, I should have not trusted Monet. And I was like, I told you not to. I told you not to trust Monet. I told you never trust her in this game. That's insane. Why would you trust her?
But what we're saying is, if you ever were to step away from Sibling Rivalry, it would be because Monet was using her charm as a dictator.
No.
Yeah, she hates you. Like, yes, clearly.
If I were to ever step away from Sibling Rivalry, I can't think of a good reason to step away from Sibling Rivalry, because I can always find time for it, to be honest. We do 2 episodes a week. So we film for roughly 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I can always find time to do Sibling Rivalry. But if it ever starts to feel unfun for an amount of time that is too long, then I'll probably step away. And I think that the last time it was feeling unfun for too long, because what I was getting at was, even when, because Monet and I, we do, you ever joke with your friends, but people who aren't your friends, they don't actually know your dynamic. So they're under the assumption like, no, Bob is actually a bad person.
Yeah, I say Bob plays too much. That's literally
they're like, I can't tell that this is all a bit. Yeah. I actually think that Bob is actually a bad person.
What are your tips for us to lock in? I mean, a July and August Leo, like taking over the world in this way is kind of insane.
So I don't know anything about zodiacs, nor do I actually believe in zodiacs. So I can't give you any tips in terms of when you were born and where the moon was and where Saturn was.
Oh my God, that's such a Sagittarius answer.
I was like, please, can you?
I'm a Cancer, not a Sagittarius.
I said Sagittarius. I was including like 2 or 3.
That's the Sagittariorpio answer, which is very zodiac based. To be like, I'll just say all of them. But I will say that if you are truly friends and you love working together, those 2 things are very important.
Yeah.
Because one of them can change. You can still be friends. You cannot like working together anymore. You know what I mean? But if you're truly friends and you love working together, it should be able to withstand, but also openly communicate with each other when you're not feeling good about it. When you are like, this doesn't particularly feel fun right now. I probably should have told Monet at the time that I wasn't feeling the vibe and it didn't feel fun. So I wasn't able to show up to work in a good mood. And so I think that, especially in the moment when I was trying to tell Monet, I was like, I should have been like, this did not feel fun. And obviously, Monet has a part in that, and so do I. But Monet is also not the type to ever acknowledge her part in anything she does. So
please, that's not true. I think I'm a little.
No, that is true. I know Monet better than you, and it's true. I know Monet better than you.
Ryan, do you feel like you're being gaslit right now? Because she doesn't. She legit does not have to acknowledge anything she's done. Because even when people know she's fucking lying to their faces, they're like, "Oh, but her smile's so sweet."
That is the charm. What a callback! It's the charm.
I mean, can you think of a time where Monet says acknowledge her part in anything? But you were ready to defend her, though.
Ooh, I mean, and all fairness,
please let me be at a Monet apology.
She's acknowledged one thing, like she acknowledged that she was on All Stars 4.
Yeah, exactly. Monet. I love my sis. She's literally my best friend in the world. And by the way, I would rather work with Monet than anyone in the world. I would rather work with Monet than anyone in the world, hands down. If I have to collab with anybody, it will always be Monet. Oddly enough, we rarely get put together by other people. Like when brands and companies choose, they'll be like, "Oh, Bob and Trixie, Monet and the Vivian, Bob and Thorgy."
I mean, duh, bitch, y'all check off the same box on the diversity hire list. They're like,
yeah, I reckon that's what it is. But they'll book Trixie and Katya, and they're the same on the fucking diversity hire.
White people have it differently. One of them's like thick white too,
and one of them is part Ojibwe. So I guess that really throws in the whole thing.
And I guess it's so interesting when I think about you and Yvie. Like, would you all ever go back into the World of Wonder RuPaul's Drag Race world? Like, realistically, I know you said you wouldn't be on All Stars, but would you?
No, I would go back into the Drag Race world. Okay, World of Wonder and Drag Race are not necessarily the same entity. You know, there's World of Wonder and Drag Race is in there, right? So would I do a show produced by World of Wonder? Absolutely. Would I go back and compete on RuPaul's Drag Race? As of right now in my career, no. But again, I always said things might go south for me, and then I'll be like, I got to get back on TV by any means necessary.
Bitch, you better double down on the fact that All Stars is for losers.
It is.
Which is so crazy to say if you really think about it.
How is it crazy? There's only one queen in the history of drag. There's only one queen in the history of All Stars who's ever competed who's not a loser. Literally one.
I guess people get so like uncomfortable with the word loser because
that's why I'm using it.
But I think it's one of those things where it's like, All Stars, what it used to be, I feel like it's changed in a lot of ways. But what it used to be is like seeing all your favorite queens kind of come back and have a resurgence in their career, and then also maybe have like an arc that is like, you know, or an arch, whatever, in their story, in their Drag Race story, and then that's what kind of blows them up. You're excited, it's your fan favorites, and so I think people never originally looked at them as like losers.
Yeah, they were still losers. It was just like the iconic losers or whatever.
Right.
But I think
the likable ones.
I'm with you, Bob, where I think people automatically assume that if you've ever given like this negative critique of Drag Race, that you're like I would never fuck with any of those bitches ever again. And for me, anyways, it's really like, no, I just realize that I don't want to be competing in a drag competition and have that be the next part of my story. Like, I already have 2 chapters of that shit. Like, I want something else that isn't just that, and I would love to work with them in like other capacities. I'll be a clown they pie on an episode or some shit. Like, I'm not against it, but I think it's a little wild how hard it is for people to remove queens and the artists and the faggots that we were before Drag Race as doing anything other than pouring directly back into that show.
Is it a blessing or a curse?
Both.
Drag Race is for me. Drag Race is a blessing. My life has changed so much because of RuPaul's Drag Race. I said it on the show and I'll say it again. I got to be on my favorite TV show. I got to win my favorite TV show. I got to see how the sausage is made, and I came out and I still ate sausage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I went to the factory and I was like, this is great. I love this. I don't have to go back to the factory again to enjoy the sausage.
Yeah.
I can just eat the sausage now.
But
I can make review shows about the sausage.
So you don't feel it's at all a curse in any sort of way. Like, I acknowledge that it's a blessing too. Drag Race literally fucking changed my life before I had a dream of being on it. And so much in the same way, like getting to that point and winning were just literally dreams come true, like unimaginable. But at the same time, do you ever like hunger? I mean, maybe you're at a different level in your career than I am, but do you ever hunger to like be put on a poster without having to have RuPaul's Drag Race above your name?
No, that doesn't really bother me. I mean, I do get to be on posters without RuPaul's Drag Race on there, but then
That's why.
but then it's like now, but then I'm like on a big poster and it's like, and it says like the Celebration Tour, and it says Madonna in giant words, and you look in the bottom right corner and it says Bob the Drag Queen.
I mean, no, your name was a little bit bigger than just in the corner. You know, you were like a staple of that show.
You should go back and look at the poster. You'll gag when you tell you my name is.
I'm gonna Google right now.
But I'm lucky that I got to be up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel it's really lucky that I got to be. And I think if I can say anything as a curse about drag race, and I don't think it is exclusive to Drag Race, I would say it's that, you know, we are thrust into the public eye, but we don't get media training. You know what I mean? So we don't get to, you're put out there and people I meet people and I do things that people don't like, and a lot of it I stand by, some of it I don't, but for the most part, most stuff I've said and I've done, I truly stand by. And also, you know, media analysis is not what it used to be because there's so much coming at us all the time. So someone online will say something and there's no, you don't have to fact check it. You don't have to fact check it. If someone said it, it is gospel. It is true. It is what it is. I don't care. All I know is that user 5.302674 said that Bob the Drag Queen blank, 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 and that was literally all the proof I need, because I never liked that bitch anyway, because I used to work at track, and I was her bottle server, and she didn't fucking say hi to me. So because of that interaction I had back in the day where I was her bottle server, and she didn't smile at me, I knew deep down in my soul that she was a piece of shit the whole fucking time.
Wow, Drag
I just needed something to verify.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can invite her down if y'all want to reconcile.
Drag Yvie's roommate. No, but I guess also you may feel that way because you've been able to go off and like be a New York Times bestseller, have the Traitors, we're here.
Clock it. Wake it up.
You know, like I understand why you have a lot of positive feelings around the platform and what it's been able to do for you, because were you intentional about being not just a Drag Race girl?
No, I have no qualms with being a Drag Race girl. I will always be a Ru girl to the day I die, and it is a badge I wear with honor. You know, I said one of my lines I said in my song was first in the game with a stamp from Ru, and I'd have been around the world. Who the fuck are you? I got a stamp from RuPaul. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
RuPaul told me I was the best one at that particular time. I have a crown over there that proves it. That is something, to be honest, I think that crown and that scepter over there is more impressive than a lot of other stuff I've done in my life. It's definitely more rare. You know how many fucking Grammys they give out every year? They only give out 2 of those fucking crowns a year. Only 2 of those crowns get passed out every
only
year.
In this country, anyways. Yeah, they're popping those crown pussies everywhere around the world. They're like, I just met this hot Brazilian guy. I gave him a crown right on the spot. Oh yeah.
Which is a place that is like on my bucket list to go is to Brazil.
That is true. I mean, in the States, they give out 2 of those a year, and they give out 40 whatever Grammys a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are
they
are prestigious, and they do mean a lot, and it really means a lot.
And they haven't lost. You all don't feel like they've lost their meaning.
I feel like All Stars doesn't mean shit. I've already said that before. I'm sorry. All Stars, where it's at right now is like, and not even like this current season. It's like, it's become quite clear after a while that All Stars really is as much about like, you know, tension on productions and what the bitches are feeling and who's the biggest diva on set and like what is best for the brand. And while all of that is like still a part of a regular seasons, on a regular season, the judges don't know most of these bitches. They're like literally going in blind. And I think what's difficult about All Stars is not only do the fans have their own perceptions, but the judges still kind of look at all the girls like it's their first season of Drag Race. And like what they had done before was just like a challenge you were shitty at. or something
I mean,
you were like Ginger was never not going to win this season.
Yeah, I can't speak much on All Stars because I've never done it. But I can say I have also on our podcast famously said that I think it is more impressive to win Drag Race than it is to win All Stars. And to be honest, I don't really have I mean, in Monet's defense, she has done All Stars twice. Monet's done 3 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I actually do not know what it's like to compete on All Stars. I just know what it's like to compete on RuPaul's Drag Race. You know what I mean?
Well, but you also know from a fan perspective.
Yeah,
right?
from a reviewer perspective.
Bitch, I'm talking about what I'm watching.
I've also helped people prepare for All Stars too. I've helped people prepare for RuPaul's Drag Race, and I've helped people prepare for All Stars.
Who?
And I've helped Naomi Smalls. I helped Jiggly Caliente. I've helped Monet Exchange. I've helped. I mean, my God, I've helped a lot of queens. I've written jokes. I've helped conceive outfits. I've helped a lot of queens. And Miss Cracker on her initial season. I've helped a lot of queens get ready for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Wow.
And it is harder doing it everyone I've helped. It is harder Drag Race than it is All Stars in their preparation stage. From what I've noticed.
It hella is.
It's so interesting. Yeah, I guess I can see what you all mean by Drag Race kind of being that's the thing sitting at the top of the mountain. Yeah, and it should still be revered in that way. And I think oftentimes when it comes to like things that, especially queer things that become mainstream, and especially at the rate that Drag Race comes, like, I mean, you have the international spinoffs, and you get a little, like, at one point, I feel like I've totally been burnt out over all of the Drag Race of it all. Like, I love it. At one point, I was just only watching the UK Drag Race. But at some point, I dropped off. I didn't even really watch the season of All Stars because it's just a lot of content. But it's like, I want that content to stay, especially in this culture climate. I need RuPaul's Drag Race
like
to sort of stay there,
24/7.
That's the place where people are getting, you know, some of their first like interactions, I'm assuming, with like queer and trans folks.
I stopped watching international seasons after a pretty rough view of All Stars. I mean, not All Stars, Drag Race Down Under season 1. That was a pretty tough watch, so I fell off. And then there was a rough season of UK.
Canada's also rough for me.
There was a rough season of UK that I was like, oh God, I hated this. And then I just went back to just watching the States.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting because what I liked about those other seasons was specifically, no shade, but the ones without like Rue and Michelle as hosts, so I could see what's important to like their drag culture there. Like the first couple of seasons of Thailand are bangers. These bitches are like making the most insane artistry, lighting themselves on fire and then sucking their own dicks on the runway and then still going home that episode. So like, I found that mind blowing.
Drag Kings now, I mean,
King of Drag.
Yeah, King of Drag. Like, I mean, King, I think it's like King Molasses is who won.
King Molasses won, yeah.
Yeah, and so like, shout out to like this next iteration of
I watched the first 3 episodes of Kings of Drag, and I was really kikiing. Yeah, I did. There was one episode that was like, I was like, this is a tough watch.
She's crunchy right now.
There's an episode that I was like, this is not Drag Race, because it was so I'm so used to the ribbing and the shade and the love your dress at the confessionals, your dress is hideous. And there was one episode of Kings of Drag that I was like, this is wild. It was the episode where they were confronting their fears, and everyone's performance was like really like,
they're like, and here's my trauma dump on you.
It was trauma. It was 30 minutes of non-stop trauma.
But that's
and then every once in a while, Murray Hill would come in and tell a dad joke, and then it was back to like, I almost killed myself. My family abused me, and I was like, my God, I guess I just wasn't mentally
prepared. Too soon is what you're saying.
Well, the reason why I like that is that reminds me of like going to like one of my crunchy ass drag daughters like little shows at one of our only lesbian bars in Denver, and then seeing like everybody under the gender spectrum just being so bad at drag, but like putting so much heart into it. They're like, yeah, I'm going to do a 5.5-year long Regina Spektor number while I slice my own wrists with maybe a fake knife. And you're like, wow, I'll throw that queer dollar.
But I was so used to seeing like one of those amidst a bunch of other stuff. Like it's like Brett Summer, then one sad person gets up and does a number where they like puke into a bowl to show they've overcome their eating disorder. Like that's what it was like.
It was nonstop.
Every number, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need a break from Kings of Drag." I'm sure the next episode was light and fluffy again.
Which
but I
is
was
why
like,
maybe that everyone loves a crunchy first season. I mean, the Housewives, like Drag Race, like everyone remembers that crunchy first season because
to be clear, the crunch didn't bother me. The trauma dumping was too much for me.
Okay.
The trauma dump is a part of the crunch, though, because on season 37 of Drag Race or whatever the fuck we're on now, like if they have a runway about fears or some shit, the producers are still there asking you like before you even go on. So what are you thinking about doing for this fear runway? Because if you try and show dick or titty hole or whatever, they'll have to chop it. So they're like, nah. Or if you're trying to do a copyright character, they're like, no dick, titty, or goofy.
I mean, on my season, they never. On my season, they never made us show them our runway. That's why I was gagged when Manila and other girls were like, I couldn't do my tampon runway when I was on Drag Race. You did not show them anything. You just showed up with your stuff, you put it on, and you hit the runway.
Maybe that's what got them in trouble with the
rule
change.
That's the thing is, like, you could still do that. You can show up with, like, whatever, but they'll ask you, like, the week of, like, oh, what are you thinking of wearing? And, bitch, they will chop something, because they were, like, trying to chop shit for me, like, down to the finale of mine. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, it looked like I have bullets on on one of my outfits because they were rubber bullets spray painted a different color. And they're like, I don't know, it could be too graphic for our viewers. We might have to cut it. And I'm like, well, then I'm walking on the streets, cock out. Make your choice.
We also had a thing on like on my season, we also didn't know what looks were for the runway, what looks were for challenges. We had no clue.
That's interesting.
They didn't say this is the runway. They would give you 20. They give you 20 looks. You have 2 weeks to figure it out. And there were looks that I spent a lot of time on that ended up being for challenges or that I didn't even wear. Like, for example, when we did the RuPaul's Empire, every character, we each made a look for each one of those characters. So I had a look. So I ended up wearing my chocolate chip cookie outfit, but I had looks for all those characters that I spent all this time on. So this is why I ended up wearing that Amazon suit on the runway, because I thought they were like, oh, it's going to be roller derby. So I'm like, I was thinking to myself, oh, they're going to take us to a skating rink and it's going to be part of the challenge. I had no clue that it was going to be for the runway. And everyone always drags me, but I just want to remind them I won that challenge. So I'm not mad about it.
Real quick, speaking of crunchy, because I want to touch on other things as well besides that. Did you really think your Traitors run? Like, what did you think of your Traitors run?
I was amazing on that show.
Sister, were you?
I was amazing. And I was better than you would be if you were.
No, sister,
this is exactly why Bob is a good drag queen, because she won't back down. She's not going to go down. I was better on that show, and I was better than you would be if you were on the show.
I loved you on the reunion. I felt like you came in real hot, real strong, and that is just not the game.
Girl, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, and I can't wait to do this.
Please!
She's getting voted out again tonight.
Every single time that they brought my name up on that show, specifically it was only Dylan Efron doing it at first, he'd go around and he'd be like, Bob is guilty, Bob is a traitor, and everyone was like, Bob is not a traitor. They'd be like, girl, you're literally smoking crack. Bob is not a traitor. And then Boston Rob let Dylan convince him that he was convinced that I was a traitor. So Dylan thought he convinced Boston Rob that I was a traitor. I was actually never a traitor. That never happened. I mean, Boston Rob was never convinced. He didn't need to be convinced because he knew for a fact I was a traitor.
He was a traitor.
So then Boston Rob used his like clout and his sway and his manipulation and his gaslighting to convince everyone, yeah, Dylan made me believe this. So up until that point, my name was never said. I had not been brought up. None of that had happened. And I also didn't do the thing that Boston Rob claimed I did, where I was like, you're one of the bad guys. I was not trying to get Boston Rob out. I was not on anyone's radar. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Danielle Reyes was also a fantastic traitor on their show. She was beyond good. The fans hate her. She was beyond good on that show.
She was crying.
She was good, but the fact that you're like, she was beyond good and I was a perfect traitor and would do better than you shows exactly why your ass did not go as far as you could have, bitch. You were just out here talking your shit like this is Drag Race, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. We know you're good at stuff. You cannot
I'm
be
telling
that
you,
good
I didn't
here.
get a show. But what ended up happening was I ended up going against like basically one of the goats of strategy-based television. So
Kind of, but I mean, I feel like they say that.
I don't watch the show. I don't watch that show, Survivor, so I don't know. But based on what everyone's saying, Boston Rob is that girl. Boston Rob is that girl, has been that girl for 20 some odd years, and will always be that girl. So considering that I went head to head with someone who does this, like who has done this, they're on their like 6th, 7th, 8th time doing this particular thing, and this is my first time doing it. I genuinely did a great job on their show, and a lot of people were gooped, gagged, and gathered that I was a traitor, and literally had no clue.
Yeah. Also, T, I want to defend that, but I do want to say, like, if you were just like a little bit more charming.
But that's not who I am. I'm not the kind of person who will ever work for your charm. I'm not the kind of person who ever work to make you like me. I have never been that person.
Bitch, but you
and
are
if I did
a fantastic actor.
That would be so fun. That would not be me. I would not be like, guys, just like being quiet. I keep telling everyone, I would have been that loud if I was a traitor. And you know, another reason why I know I was great on that show, I never told any lies on that. I never told a single lie on that show.
That was
ever.
hot.
The only lie I told on that show was that I was a faithful, and I legally had to tell that lie. So I was like, if you go in and you don't tell any lies, they're not catching me in lies. I wasn't doing anything to make myself obvious. Like, what did I do to make myself obvious? Quickly.
Girl, you are a loud, beautiful, gorgeous, like turning looks.
So being loud makes you a traitor?
Well, yes, I think
it puts a target on your back, especially if you play it too strong, like a drag queen who is arguing in untalkable drag race.
For no reason.
I would have been that loud no matter what. I was crying. By the way, my tears were not fake. I was genuinely crying because I was sad.
Oh.
I was actually sad. Like, it is, y'all, first of all, my mom died
I know
2 weeks
the
ago.
context, yeah.
And it's like death, everyone's dying, caskets, burying. I was never acting on that show. And I saw people who wanted to be there, and it was sad. I was not fake crying. I was sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so how's my crying making me look guilty? Because I had emotions?
No, it just is one of those things where it's like historically known in strategy shows where it's like you want to have a great social game. You want to like kind of fly under the radar. It's why like Sari won the first season of Traitors.
I was going to say,
because
she like,
Sari
was playing with citizens who had never done this. Half the cast, she was like, I'm an accountant.
And they were upset.
But they all trusted her. She saw, I think
Sari was great. Sari was great.
The smartest thing about
But she wasn't on the same she wasn't being graded on the same scale as everyone else.
No. See, that's where it's wrong. Is Sari's greatness was she was great at exploiting other people's vulnerability, the stuff they didn't want to show. And I don't know if this was just how the casting showed up, but when she ended up in the finals with like only faggots or whatever, basically, I was like, oh no. She let these faggots think she was an ally.
Well, not only that, but didn't it end with like just Sari and people who had never been on reality TV?
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, and that's the reason why I think they changed the format and did like heavy reality TV, because a lot of these folks, like, they forgot that it was a game at the end of the day and their strategy behind this, and they got really hurt around her decision.
Especially the poor broken queers.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I think they also changed because it's really not fun to watch a show where one person's like, I need this money or I will not be able to get top surgery. Then you have a housewife being like, I just want it.
Also, I just want to name really quickly, I didn't realize your background was a denim background because it's more in focus than you are. But work, that kind of eats. I love it. I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
But
also, the last thing I'll say too is this. You are watching from home with all the answers to the quiz. You think to yourself, I would know this. It's so obvious to me. It's only obvious to you because you already knew the answers to the quiz.
Okay, can I throw you a pose then? Because I've played one game of Traitors in my life.
I want to do Big Brother.
After watching your season, actually, we all got together and we were like, yeah, we're going to have a Traitors weekend. Bitch, I know I'm better than you because I made it to the end of my game. I lost still.
I've made it to the end of the game before.
The excuse was that it was like
game and made it to the end. And I'll tell you what, next time you come to LA, I would love to have you over, and I'll show you how good I am.
So Yvie gets the invite and I don't get the invite. I want to come play too.
Girl, you got to invite him to your pool party.
I still haven't gotten the invite from you, bitch.
You are okay. Well,
nice
can you please? Can we talk about really quickly because I want to talk about this book, Harriet Tubman live in concert. It's so interesting that you would write this book, even though I've always known that you. Harriet Tubman is kind of like your legend, like your icon.
She's your diva.
Yeah, she's your diva. Like, tell us more. Like, why this like fictitious fantasy aspect of telling her life, but then also what's the balance of having a little fun while you're doing it?
Well, I've always been kind of obsessed with Harriet Tubman since I was young and started reading about her. I'm from Georgia, so we do Black History real. We don't do Black History
I'm from
Month.
Nashville. I know.
Yeah, we do Black History year. That's why I was shocked to realize that people like don't do Black History like all year long, especially in a class called Georgia History. You have to take, I want to say, middle school. And Georgia History is obviously going to have a lot of Black history in it. So I've just been obsessed with Harriet Tubman, and she's not from Georgia. To be clear, I know Harriet Tubman is not from Georgia. She's from Maryland.
Africa. Oh,
she's from Maryland. But every time you read about Harriet Tubman, you learn something new. Every time you're like, this is crazy. How could this have happened? Her life is extraordinary. And I'm always impressed by her, by just the things. And there are so many historians who can corroborate all these stories that are being told about her. And I just love writing music. So I love the idea of, and I remember one day thinking to myself, if Harriet Tubman had an album, I would listen to it. And then I was like, well, I'm going to have to write it myself.
Bitch, how do you said you don't smoke weed, right? How did you come up with a book idea with the highest thought ever? Like, what the fuck would Harriet Tubman, what would her bars be?
I think if I smoked weed or did edibles, I would it would shut off that part of my brain. I think I would actually lose that part of my brain if I did that, actually.
So are you turning this book into a theatric? Like, what do you want?
I was writing as a play before I was writing as a book, and I am returning to my my writing of the play. Like, I want to get my play finished for sure, 100%.
I'm very much excited about, one, the audiobook, because work on that. And then I'm also just excited about like the formats that Harriet Tubman Live in Concert takes, right? Because you have the album component, which is so cool. And then like knowing that it's going into theater, is that like going to be a purse first, like studios, like your production company? Is that like what's going to really be the launching point for that?
I don't have the capacity to produce a show at the level I would want to do yet. Purse First Studios, we're very modest. We're a very, very small team. There's really like 4 of us who work here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me, my stylist, my office manager, and my like VP of operations at my studio. There's like 4 of us. And then we have contractors come in and out. But you know, I have dreams for Purse First Studios down the line. I would love to be able to release a feature film one day. That would mean so much to me. I would love to produce our own reality TV shows. That would mean so much to me. I would like to get back into live events. I used to do a lot of live events. I used to produce a lot of live events back in New York City when I was living there, but I don't have those same connections here in LA. And I want to start making those for sure. Because I want to take back touring into the hands.
I know some live events folks out here.
I want to take touring back into the hands of the queens. Like I would rather work for another queen than work for either this massive company or just some random
dude. Yeah. Like, and that's like no shade to any of the massive companies or random dudes I've worked with. But
no shade to Scurry and Jeter. No shade to Vanden Boss for legal reasons.
All I hear is shade.
You know, I like that's your shade, because my no shade would be no shade to Merle of Munber.
What in the pig Latin?
but the reality of it is, I feel like, okay, I was trying to make this point with Rico Nasty when I was talking to her a couple weeks ago, is that I feel like drag queens and rappers have so much that they could learn from each other and how success in our industries work. Because, you know, hip hop used to be this niche thing that was literally only for the culture. And then people saw ways to commodify it to make this big money. And honestly, as a rapper, like the biggest dream you can have is to get so successful that you get signed some record deal and you learn that the system is kind of whack and crooked, and then you start your own record company and start signing other bitches
to whack and crooked deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
To also put in 360 deals.
You know.
Well, no, I'm obsessed with that as well. And I think it actually is the perfect transition to go into. Bob, we ask every guest on the show, what are you high key about right now? That can be a particular thing. That could be just like, you can hate something that you are high key hating. You could do anything that comes to your mind. What are you high key about currently?
I know for a while ago I was really high key about Crocs. I went through a real Croc obsession. I'm not there anymore. I've calmed on my Croc obsession. I'm actually wearing a pair of Etsy Crocs right now.
Wait, let me see. Put them on the other side.
Wait, move her closer to your
fake
face.
Versace Etsy Crocs.
These are kind of sickening, though. I like that they're covered. Like, the holes are covered, because that's what gives me the ick.
But right now, I'm high-key about this game called Apple Grapple that I've been playing on my phone. I'm obsessed with Apple Grapple. So in Apple Grapple, you are an apple, and these worms are trying to eat you. But you have to defend yourself against the worms, and they give you guns, they give you knives, they give you crossbows, they give you dynamite, they give you grenades, rocket launchers, and all the worms keep trying to eat you and come at you. And then the big boss worms come out, and then you get to level up your apple to defend yourself against these worms. No one else I know is really playing Apple Grapple unless I tell them about it. I know one other person, my partner Tao, is playing Apple Grapple right now.
Does the apple have arms?
No, the apples have
gun
hands.
just sort of
they don't
sticks
have
to
arms.
it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. How is it?
The weapons are kind of like floating near the apple, and they have hands holding the weapons, but they're not but there's no arms attached to the hands.
How the fuck did you
Like
find
Rayman
this game?
style. Rayman, that old ass video game I loved. Girl,
Yes, just like
I love
that.
how you were like, yeah, I'm playing Apple Grapple. And I'm like, yes, this bitch has some little pleasure in life, like a silly, ridiculous phone game.
I love that.
And then you're doing like full Call of Duty with worms. You're like, yeah, and I'm murdering them, blowing their guts out. I'm ending their families.
Well, I was playing right before you. I was playing while y'all were talking about Yvie low-key quitting drag. And this is my apple.
Please.
Here.
Wait, put it on the other
Like,
side.
it's important. I can't, like, this is my apple.
Okay.
And those worms are trying to kill me.
Oh.
So I have to defend myself against these worms. Do you see all these worms trying to get me?
I do not, because you're not in the frame. But
Well, because I don't want the apple to die. It's important.
here we go.
You're like, I'm actually in the middle of this game now.
So it's like a finger. What is that game that used to be where you like kind of you I don't even know.
Like the snake game or
yeah,
whatever?
like a snake game. It feels like your finger is controlling it. That's hilarious. Anyway.
No, snake was with the directions.
Yeah, with the
was
buttons
it?
on that old ass crunchy ass phone. You're just pressing
So
3 and 9.
I'm really loving Apple Grapple and defending my app. And you can also defend so there's also a moment where there's a tree in the middle of the grove, and the tree's obviously your family. There are apples on the tree, and these worms are trying to eat your family, and you have to defend the tree, your family, from the worms trying to eat your family.
This is a very dark game. I hope this is not in the children's section of the games app.
It's great.
Rated
I saw
E for
it was
everybody.
advertised to me on TikTok, and it's my favorite thing ever. It's probably my favorite game I've downloaded from being advertised.
Well, Bob,
Bitch.
thank you for coming to our party. We hope you enjoyed
pleasure.
yourself. Hopefully next time you will bring us something.
Listen, now my question is, in this game of Mafia that we're gonna play, are you gonna do better than me? Say it now.
Period. I'm gonna eat.
Duh.
I'm gonna eat.
You gonna do better than me?
I'm
I
gonna eat.
literally
Yes.
will. Ryan will. I cannot wait till we both team up and get you out, and
It's
then
great.
one of us gets the other out because we didn't realize they were a traitor the whole time and you were actually an
Big that.
innocent.
Y'all won't even know that I'm a traitor.
This is going to be delicious.
Well, thank you for coming to our show.
Yeah,
And on that note, thank you for coming to my show.
All right, we'll be back and we'll get into our high keys of the week. High key.
Well, that's what I was trying to get across to Bob, is that like she is one of the best drag queens to have competed on Drag Race because she has the strongest like delusion. She has the strongest self-belief. Like when the universe
It's
is trying to
crazy.
smack us down, you have to believe like, no, I'm the best at everything. That doesn't work in a social game.
And here's the thing. It's like, I totally admire that. I admire that. But there's just no way in the world that you can watch back that season or watch that season in real time and think that you actually did a good job. I'm sorry, Bob. News alert. But I'm happy I was able to tell you because I was also equally screaming at the screen when that season was on. It was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't. Bob, you're playing. You're doing too much, sis.
But
what a
she
great
still
time.
she still was fantastic. Ryan, I know you I'm already expecting some Love Island Big Brother answer, but what are you high-key about right now?
Actually, no, I'm high-key distraught and high-key over the fact that I wasted money going to see Superman. It was one of the worst fucking movies. I'm not, granted context, I'm not necessarily a a Superman fan. I don't
because
think
he's like the boring straight white guy.
And there's not much that you can do to retell that story and make it interesting. And this is like obviously James Gunn's world and his version of like what this is. And I've always been a fan of DC like television shows versus films. The only DC film that I've ever liked was Aquaman. Not Aquaman 2, just Aquaman. I know. It's actually really good if you watch it. It's like the humor's on point. But anyway, I just did not enjoy the world building that was happening in this Superman. And I also don't think I enjoyed the actor. I didn't like Lois. They made Superman's parents like these like super white, redneck, Southern like folks, which I guess is fine, but I don't know. It just wasn't
he's in
for
like
me.
a cornfield in Kansas or whatever.
It's true, but they've never, I guess it's hard because of Superman's story has been told so much and you've seen like iterations. I mean, the best version of Superman and Lois for me is literally Superman and Lois, the television show that was on the CW. It was so good that I last year like actually binged it like all the way through and was like, wow, this is such a great show. They just nailed everything about
Is this
Clark
a different
Kent
thing than Smallville though?
Yes, it is a different thing from Smallville because Smallville is its own thing, which is another show that I loved. And so like I don't know. I high key over whatever Superman is. And I am excited though for, Supergirl and what they're going to do there. But Superman was a flop. It was awful. And even though I could see what they were trying to do and make commentary around the things that are happening politically, all the things, et cetera, et cetera. I wasted $50.
It just wasn't for you?
Yeah, I wasted $50.
Well, luckily, Ryan, I don't trust your taste anymore.
What? Did you like it? Did you see it?
Hell no, and I'm not going to see it. That is clearly...
Why would you not trust my taste?
Well, because, okay, I will say I trust your opinion on the Superman movie because this feels like the DC equivalent of, like, whatever the fuck Marvel decided to do after they got too high and smashed all the universes like they were Barbies in a kid's room just making them fuck, being like, yeah, what if we put 7 naked Spider-Mans together?
I don't know. I'm a Marvel apologist. I love it.
I'm a Marvel apologist, but like that was bad. It like basically killed their status as like being like quality, not even quality. It's just like, girl, if you saw one of the Avengers, you don't need to see the other 30. That was bad. Just like any Superman story is bad because he's literally the most boring character ever created. I understand why he was important at some point. Yeah, but like since he was written, I think there's plenty enough like space for tiny white boys in cornfields to believe that they could dream of doing something great someday.
Honestly, it sounds like you just described Doug.
I know, exactly. And you know what? Doug hates Superman, and that's how I know it's bad. But I don't trust your taste because you're like, the one DC thing I ever liked was Aquaman? Fuck the Dark Knight?
No, fuck you, bitch, because no, Aquaman is great. Dark Knight, yes, I guess Batman for me is also a flop because it's just another white,
he is.
Like a rich white man thinking that he can take the law in his own hands because his parents were killed from bats or whatever. It's all stupid. It's all stupid. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
That's why The Dark Knight was the best thing they ever put out because they were like, yes, this is another Batman movie with some guy performing over masculinity so that he can feel threatening. But then they had this crazy ass, crisscross dressing ass Joker, Heath Ledger. Like, I'm so sorry. That movie made villains cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Heath Ledger's Joker, it will go down in history. Shout out to Heath Ledger. What are you high key about? Because I do have like one more high key just to end it out.
I'll keep it easy this week. My high key is I'm so high key about Don't Tap the Glass. It's Tyler the Creator's most recent album. I just fucking love him. I've always been a Tyler apologist. Like, I think he's such a brilliant artist, specifically because art is about speaking truth into shit.
Yeah.
And like he has some sketchy things he's said in the past, but my little like teenage ass was sitting there listening to them being like, wow, he's just doing this because he's young and angry and wanted to like get a rile out of the world. And watching him evolve out of that into like just like one of the most confident, beautiful, funny, like goofballs, like just going around the world rapping about how he like fucks bitches and dudes or whatever. And
love it.
He's such a, I have such a fucking crush on him.
I have to listen to, thank you for that reminder. There's so much good music out right now. Renee Rapp just dropped her album. Chaperone just dropped a new song. I love Tyler, the Creator, as a performer. The things that he's able to accomplish, his Coachella set when he headlined was so amazing. Like he just knows how to get a crowd going, and I'm obsessed. So shout out to that High Key. I think that's a really great one.
But what's your last High Key?
I know it's really like a low key RIP. And just like that is taking, I was getting my daily dose of just white people doing white people shit through that shit. And it's unfortunate because they have announced that it's done. Season 3 will be its final. And I've already seen the entire season already, so I know how it ends. But I'm really going to miss Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm going to miss Kristen Davis. I'm going to miss, Cynthia Nixon. I'm going to miss all of the crew of And Just Like That and Sex and the City. What an era. What a moment. And
it really was.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss them for sure. But
wait, Ryan, do you like And Just Like That?
I love it. And no one's going to be able to get me to hate it because here's the thing. I think the reason where a lot of the hate comes from, and I know we probably...
It's because it's like bad?
No, it's because it's bad, but it's also because people think it's supposed to be just like Sex and the City. And this is a completely different fucking not world, but it's years later. These women have completely changed. And Just Like That is a little bit more whimsical instead of realistic.
Yeah.
And if you don't think about it like that and you continue to like put the Sex and the City filter on it, you're just like begging for something that is just not ever going to fucking happen. Now, they're going to give you remnants and reminders of what the show used to do through like the storytelling and all the like little crazy things and the sex of it all. But it's just a different show. And I don't think people really like understood that, which is hard when you have a character that is like as iconic as those 3 women and just this world. It's hard. And so it's been really annoying to like hear all the hot takes of it all. And yes, there's been some crazy lazy moments through the writing and all the things. But
I love it.
That
you can't just
great.
drop the fact that they forgot they already killed a character's father.
I think they were actually
rewrote
talking about
a new one so she could go through the same trauma again. That's like the friend at the party who dumps on you at the beginning. She's like, my boyfriend just broke up with me. And then later you see her making out with her boyfriend. And then she comes back and she's like, my boyfriend just broke up with me. And you're like,
Michael
really,
Patrick
bitch?
King, they put out a statement. They said actually in that scene that everyone was referencing, it was supposed to be her stepdad, not her actual dad.
Well, you gotta say it, bitch.
I know. But y'all, that is our fucking show. What a great fucking show it was. It's time for Yvie and I to tip on over to the Afties. This is our Patreon. This is where we're going to be doing an extra 20 to 30 minutes of all the spicy shit that we really wanted to talk about here, but we really didn't have the fucking time. And honestly, I think we need to dive in more on the Entertainment Weekly of it all, because we mentioned it earlier, but we didn't really talk about it. And anytime, it's kind of crazy. You did that interview and didn't even tell nobody you was really doing that interview. And I was just like, wait, bitch, why is it this serious? So we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So join us over there.
Afties. We'll see you on Patreon.
Of course, do not forget to give our podcast a 5-star rating. Shout out again to every fucking listener, especially over there on the Apple Podcasts. Y'all are clearly like downloading the shit out of this show and really listening to it. We really appreciate it. But anywhere you get your slay-worthy audio, as my good sis Tre'vell Anderson says. And of course, follow us on YouTube. Tell us,
Yeah, look at our faces.
Yeah, watch us. We try to do something big and nice over here and just do it our way. So
we'll see y'all
come
around.
back to the party. Come back to the party. We'll see you at the Afties.